Hello and welcome to the Following Truth Bible study on YouTube. I'm your host, LJ. The title of this episode is Can Echad mean a one in unity? The Hebrew Bible states that God is one, this being found specifically in the Shema. Jesus himself referred to the Shema as being the most important commandment in the law in Mark 12:29. And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. The Shema is so fundamental to the Jewish faith that many Jews uh, recite the Shema once, twice, or even sometimes three times per day. When we look at the Shema, it looks straightforward, and it seems like it is very clear and as clear as it can be. Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Elchinu, Yahweh Echad. Yahweh, our God, is one Yahweh. Of course, the Jews would not use the name Yahweh here, but Adonai. Trinitarians claim that their belief does not contradict or violate the Shema, as they fervently assert that they believe in one God who is three persons, but still one God. They will often point to the Hebrew word echad, one, and say that this does not explicitly mean one, but can mean one in unity. They will usually offer some support for this claim. It usually goes something like this: one team or one family can consist of more than one person within that team or within that family, in the same way that one God can mean that there is more than one person in what is God. For example, a basketball team has 5 players, yet it is still one team, which of course is true. It is one team. As another example, one of the most common biblical arguments that I see put forward is where man and woman became one flesh. The Hebrew word is echad, Genesis 2:24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. While these examples may seem to demonstrate what the Trinitarian is asserting, these arguments actually do fail under proper analysis. What we need to understand is that Echad, one, is always one. Echad is a numerical adjective. Definite numerical adjectives express the exact number in cardinal form, that is 1, 3, 10, and in ordinal form, that is first, second, tenth. We can get a definitive numerical adjective in cardinal form by questioning how many to a noun. Now, it is the noun that follows a definite numerical adjective that denotes plurality or singularity. Firstly, if we look at the example of one team, one, definite numerical adjective, team, noun. One here denotes a singular numerical one. It is the noun team that can be plural and denotes plurality. Team is a plural noun. So it is team that is plural, not echad. Echad would only denote one team, as there is only one rather than more than one team. And it is team that would denote plurality within the one team. One Yahweh indicates there is one Yahweh, a singular Yahweh. It would have to be demonstrated that Yahweh, the noun, is plural. However, Yahweh in the Hebrew itself is a singular noun. So there is one single Yahweh, and Yahweh is singular. Echad cannot be stated as being plural and cannot be used as evidence for Yahweh being plural. It should also be noted that the Greek of Mark 12:29, where Jesus quotes the Shema, one, is hais, and this is a numerical adjective. It is the Greek for one. Now, when we look at the example of the man and the woman becoming one, echad, flesh is singular. It must be understood that this is only figurative, as in actuality, the man and the woman are not literally one flesh, whereas the Trinitarian assertion is that the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit are literally one God. If we go back to the example of the team, we will see that this just cannot work. Let's take a basketball team. There are five players that would make one team. The team consists of 5 players. The problem arises when you separate the individual players. Player 1 is not fully the team. Neither is player 2, 3, 4, or 5. Each player is a member of the team, but each player is not the team on their own. Only when you have all 5 players that are in a collective do they make a team. The same with the man and the woman. If we take the man alone, he is not fully the flesh. He's not fully one flesh. He only makes up one part of what one flesh is. Separately, he is just a man, a flesh of his own, as is the woman. To be the one flesh, it requires the unity of the two together. If the argument was that the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit were God collectively, but separately they were not God, but only one person that makes up God, or they were each God's small g that form a God capital G when in a collective, then this argument might hold some weight. But as each member of the triune God is also God, the argument simply fails. So, what about Elohim? I should just point out that Elohim is the plural of El. El can be better mean power or might, and so is correctly used in reference to God because God is power and might. Elohim, therefore, is the plural of El, so is powers or mights, and that is what God is. He is all powers and he is all might, which is why Elohim uh, in the Shema is plural. Yahweh, who is all powers and all might, is one singular Yahweh. Elohim is in the plural through the is required there for to denote the vastness, the complete powers of God. Just like water and heavens, as in Mayim and Shamayim, are always in the plural. They denote the vastness of water and the heavens, and that is what Elohim is doing there. It does not mean that God is plural. Thank you very much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you on another one. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. You can do so in the right corner. There's the subscribe button. And like I say, I look forward to seeing you on another video. Shalom.